So welcome to this wonderful webinar, which has everyone to join us today. The theme of today is quite a mouthful theme, but very inclusive and exciting theme. The theme for our webinar today is a transformative solution for inclusive development, the role of innovation in filling an accessible and equitable world. How big and exciting for all of us. And for today, I saw that many people have joined from different places in Asia, and welcome everyone again. I'm Alisa Sivathorn, a disability inclusion and empowerment specialist stationed in BRH. So welcome everyone once again. Now today we have three excellent speakers with us who are willing to share his and her story about how their work have been empowered and include persons with disabilities. Without further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker, the youngest speaker, to present his work. Before that, I would like to tell you guys a little bit more about himself. Tanvir Ahmed Tonmoy, sorry if I mispronounce your name, Tanvir. He's the president of the Physically Challenged Development Foundation, or PDF, is a chapter of the University of Dhaka. Tanvir Ahmed Tonmoy is an undergrad student who's studying sociology at the University of Dhaka at the moment. He's a visual impairment and he is a disability activist. He's interested in working for persons with disabilities. At present, as I mentioned earlier, that he's a president of the PDS, whose work are about the development of youth with disabilities. In addition to that, he is also a young entrepreneur who runs a traditional food startups. Without further ado, welcome Tanvir to the floor. It's yours, Tanvir. Please share us about your experience and journey. Tanvir, can you hear us? Or shall we give Tanvir more time to prepare himself? Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sure. You please welcome.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'm really excited to part of this webinar because, and thank you to give me the opportunity to share something here. Okay, so this is Tanvir Ahmed Tonmoy. I'm from Bangladesh, and I'm an undergraduate student in studies in sociology and University of Dhaka. And already she said that I'm a president of Physically Challenged Development Foundation, PDF. It's and University of Dhaka chapter. Basically, we work for the development of youth with disabilities and who are underprivileged, because of that every person with disabilities are underprivileged, because we have some prejudice and some barriers, social taboos, because we believe that disability term, it's just a word, because it's just a myth and socially constructed. Every person has equal rights and equal capacities to promote himself. Okay, so when you work for the person with disabilities, that time I understand, and that time I see that one can make anything. Okay, so but the authority but the society think that person with disabilities cannot work or cannot do anything. In 2018, I worked for PDF, and that time I see closely that what type of problems they face, because I have also personal disabilities and I have visual disabilities. And when I think, when I see that they have some barriers for job opportunities, and they have some lack of skills, and many more problems. And you know that Bangladesh is a developing country, and it has very few problems, and we don't facilitate them. Okay, but then we think that, and PDF has some taking some initiative to develop their lives and to develop their skills. Okay, so we provided some workshops and trainings to develop their skills. But the problem is here, our employer cannot believe that personal disabilities are work for them, and they can't accept them on their organization. Here, UNDP Bangladesh and UNDP Bangladesh intervened, and they supported us to working here, because they they arranged some FGD, and they invited the corporate leaders and they influence them and influence them to personal disabilities can do anything, and here they create the platform, and very few panel discussions to convince them the personal disabilities can do for you, and just you need to support them. So that and this project is means is project, and this project Youth Collab supported us on this project, and 1,000 personal disabilities are benefited on this project, and I think it's accurate numbers is very few students. Okay, so Dhaka University completed their research, pre-research, and we are trying to arrange that. And personal disabilities are always think that, and we are trying to influence them. You can do anything. Thank you, everyone.
Sorry, I thought I was already unmuted. Thank you, Tanvi, for sharing the experience. And I think we all have this similar problems, starting from the attitudes of the society towards persons with disabilities in across Asia and probably in some other region as well. So we need to work together in order to improve that. So next, I would like to invite our next speaker. Let me introduce him, Abrahim Ali Shah from Mobiliti. Abrahim is a CEO and a founder of Mobiliti, which is the first and the only indigenous prosthetics manufacturer in Pakistan, in which it focuses on a holistic approach to the inclusion of differently abled people in the society, launching an international standard compliant prosthetics foot for less than $100 US. Mobiliti has served over 1,250 patients and used over 200 kilograms of carbon fiber waste, which is approximately around the landfill size. 20% of the team workforce is also a differently abled people, which reflective on the company values. According to the work, he's been recognized by Forbes under the 30 list and also been recognized at the World Health Summit. Please welcome Abraham, and floor is yours, Abraham.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can listen to me loud and clear.
Yes, we do.
Perfect. I'll be sharing my screen with you. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so can you all see my screen? I just wanted to show you the work I'm. Perfect. I'll briefly introduce myself, but I think that Alisa has done a better job than I could ever do. So I'm Abraham Shah from Pakistan, the co-founder and CEO of Mobiliti, a startup ensuring disability inclusive society, not just in Pakistan, but all over the globe. So this cause has been always very dear to me because while I was pursuing my engineering, a very close member of my group, Siam, had an accident. At that time, our research group was working on robotics, cutting edge technology, very cool stuff. And the coincidence is that all of that was for an office runner who lost his upper limb. So the first project that I was working on related to prosthetics was an upper limb prosthesis. And while working on it, during that course, a very close friend, Siam, had an accident. And as a result of that accident, he lost his lower limb. His life was devastated. He was at that time a potential valedictorian of our batch, so I had really close competition with him. Another reason why we were very closely associated to one another, a very top athlete. That was something I was terrible at. So he was a better all-rounder than me. But after this accident, his life was devastated. He took a gap year, couldn't return to the field, was going hospital after hospital, trying to find a decent solution that he can afford, but everything was in vain. That is when we first decided to develop a lower limb prosthesis for him. But what we realized after getting into this, after going through the journey with Siam, the problem is far bigger than just him. There were 54 million people suffering from limb loss all across the developing countries. And 9 out of 10 amongst them are still deprived of prosthetic devices. It's primarily because the solutions are very expensive and have functionality issues. But since we are focused on the developing countries, this problem gets a lot bigger because of poor medical facilities and lack of accessibility and support for differently abled people in the society. And the dilemma is that this number is increasing, and it's in recent times, it increases more than the time when probably we were in wars and trauma, facing accidental trauma. And that's primarily because one of the biggest contributors of amputation these days is diabetes. People with diabetes are 70% more prone to amputation than a normal human being. So to curtail this problem, we founded Mobiliti, which ensures a disability inclusive society through products which are eco-friendly and affordable. Another thing which we emphasize a lot on in Mobiliti is being eco-friendly, and that's primarily because plastic and pollution is as big a problem as amputations and disability inclusion in our society, as millions of tons of plastic goes to plastic waste every year, with hardly 20% of it being recycled. And the reason why I would say that only 20% is being recycled is again a problem, because ideally this plastic should be used and upcycled into a higher value product. So Mobiliti came up with the vision that we won't just recycle this plastic waste, we will upcycle it and provide and build a higher utility product than it was before. So using that plastic waste, we produce prosthetic devices which are compliant to international standards like ISO and CE. And the interesting thing is that this international standard compliant foot, which costs 7 times lesser than the existing solution, is enabling people to walk, run, jump, climb stairs, drive a car, basically get back on their feet again. And the first beneficiary of this prosthetic foot was our friend Siam. But he has a thing to get into trouble. So what happened is that as soon as we helped him get back on his feet, he got married and fell into a new ditch. This happened last year in December. Now hopefully he's living a happily married life, hopefully, and is happy with our prosthetic foot. Another thing that Siams helps us do is that he personally tests every device that we produce. So the first 1,000 devices that we rolled out, every single device was first tested by Siam, because he went through the whole journey and he could understand how big a problem this is, how big a problem disability is. And since we were associated to him, we could also understand the gravity of the problem we were tackling. So our goal was not only to produce an affordable device, we wanted to produce a device which offers a great range of customization so that it can gain compliance to different patient needs, and at the same time allow them to walk indoors, outdoors, do all sorts of activities. And for that, we had to produce a product which was market competitive. So Mobiliti prosthetic foot are not only 7 times more affordable, but they provide a greater range of customization and a comprehensive activity support. Another thing that we are very, very proud of. This helped us serve over 4,500 patients. So the last time when I was working with UNDP Youth Collab, the number was around 1,200. But with their support, which I value a lot, we in a span of less than 8 months have approached a number of over 4,500 people. And not just that, while we were in Youth Collab, we realized that serving patients, it's a good thing, but it's an output. What's the outcome of serving these patients? And that's the improvement in their lifestyle, for which we started keeping a tab of the increase in their income. And we can proudly say that after using our products, their income has increased by over 320%. And that's, again, is something that we are extremely proud of. And to be honest, owe it to you and Youth Collab, because they gave us the idea of keeping an insight of this metric as well. Collectively, on this journey, we have upcycled over 1 ton of plastic waste, which again has helped us not just serve people with amputations and make their lifestyle sustainable, but also make technological innovation sustainable. During this journey, it was you and Youth Collab and several other partners like International Committee of Red Cross, some local hospitals like ICRC, that helped us make this product right and serve the patients. And the work we did was recognized on several forums, like Alisa mentioned before. I was featured in Forbes 30 in the 30. We were the first startup from Pakistan to be invited for World Health Summit. But the idea is that what all of this reflects, that if you're out there trying to do something good, you'll find a lot of people there to help you. In Pakistan, technological development, working on something so tech savvy, it wasn't easy initially. Medical space, again, a very, very, very hard space to get into. But with support from organizations like Youth Collab and people all across the globe, we have managed to reach, at least, I won't say reach, but initiate a journey which would eventually help us build a disability inclusive society. But this is not where we want to end. A prosthetic foot, it was a great start. And I keep having these discussions with Nisha, and we say that a prosthetic foot, that's just one part. If we really want to ensure a disability inclusive society, we need to look at aspects of their financial inclusion and their social inclusion, for which we are planning to build a digital platform. This platform will allow people with physical disabilities seek financial assistance to get different devices and solutions that they need, and not just stop there, but also get vocational training and enroll in capacity building programs so that they can pay back to the society and pay back their loans and reintegrate in the society socially, physically, and economically. So it will be a digitally powered platform ensuring financial, economic, and social inclusion, for which again we will need a lot of support, not just from UN Youth Collab, but other partners who are a part of this seminar. This altogether helps us create an impact and contribute to UN SDGs. We are reducing poverty and inequalities by enabling differently abled to get better jobs, and at the same time promoting good health through innovation while keeping environment in perspective as a significant part of our foot and other products that we are gradually getting into is made of plastic waste. I thank you all to let me present, for giving me this opportunity to present our work and talk about our journey. If any one of you wants to get connected with me, you can contact me on WhatsApp, drop me an email. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And to see different things that Mobiliti is doing, you can also go on our YouTube channel. If you want any of this information, you can either ask it from the hosts of the seminar or get directly in touch with me. Thank you so much for this opportunity again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you and big congratulations to Abraham. And now I see why you've been listed in Forbes. And this a very good example of turning crisis into a great opportunity from what Abraham has been doing and done, and not only thinking about the society of or the community of persons with disabilities, but also thinking about the society in the overall aspects, especially on environment. So now we'll come to the last but not the least. Let us welcome Jaein Jung from OHFA Tech. So let me tell you about Jaein Jung. Jaein Jung is the marketing manager at OHFA Tech. They developing a Taptilo for Braille education. Jaein believes that if the world is made to be a good place for persons with disabilities, it would be good for non-disabled groups as well. With this belief, Jaein delivers many products, including Taptilo and other products related to Braille education in order to improve the literacy of blind students. Jaein gets a lot of happiness and energy when she sees students learning Braille from Taptilo. So please welcome Jaein, and floor is yours, Jaein.
Hello, nice to meet you all. I hope you can hear me well. So can I share this screen now? Okay. Is it okay to, is it fine to see all the slides? Okay. So now I'll play from the start with the presentation. So hello again, I'm Jaein Jung, and as introduced me before, I am a sales and marketing manager at OHFA Tech. And today I'm going to introduce OHFA Tech and our product and our journey that we have followed since 2015. So on the main screen, on the first slide, we have our vision that we dreams the world where disability does not mean disabled. So we challenge the obstacles that hinders the blind with our innovative technology. During the interview and research with the blind and visually impaired people, we found out that there are three main issues that they could face during their lifetime. So first is difficulty in learning Braille, and second is high price products, and third is the social environment that lacks accessibility. So we try to challenge these obstacles with innovative technology developed by ourselves. First issue that we focused on was the Braille literacy crisis. So according to many research and statistics, only 10% of the blind people around the world can read and write Braille. However, Braille literacy is very critical for getting jobs and getting opportunities for learning. To figure out the reasons and factors of Braille literacy crisis, we interviewed many teachers, students, parents, and many other blind people around us. So many people mentioned these kinds of reasons that regarding the hardship in learning Braille. First, Braille learning is difficult and boring. And second reason is that there are a lack of teachers and schools for learning Braille. In Korea, we have around 2,000 students who need to learn Braille, but there are only 12 schools for the blind students. So we developed our first product named Taptilo. It is the world's first smart Braille learning device, and I'm going to hold it on my hand right now. So this is our first product named Taptilo. Taptilo has two parts briefly. In the upper part, we call it Braille blocks. So similar to the Lego blocks, the Braille blocks can be detached right away, and it can be pushed with the sounds like this. So as the Braille itself, it has 6 dots. So the students can practicing it by pushing the dots, and they can create a letter or word by themselves. And the lower part is the Braille display, and the Braille pops up when the device is turned on. So both our Braille blocks and Braille display are 5 times bigger than the actual size of Braille. So it really focuses on the Braille beginners who just started learning Braille. And as mentioned on the slide, anyone can study the Braille by themselves with built-in curriculum. So we have the various topics starting from dots, and it also has words and symbols and contractions and all Braille contents. So, Taptilo provides app which could be connected with Bluetooth using our via our device. So with the Taptilo app, anyone can be a Braille teacher. Since Taptilo's app screen shows the contents in Braille and mute letter at the same time, so the parents, teacher, who even if they don't know the Braille, they can check the student's answer is right or wrong. And based on our app feature, teachers and parents can customize their learning materials based on the student's preference or their interest or their learning status, because Taptilo has its Braille engine in it. So when the contents is typed in printed letter, it automatically changes to the Braille. So we have done several projects in Korea with the students who need to learn Braille, and based on the results that we got, the average learning period is significantly decreased from 6 to 12 months to 1 to 3 months. And we are really motivated that learning dropout rates really decreased from 70% to 20%. We target the SDG number 4, quality education, especially 3 targets related to equally access to the primary education and eliminate all discrimination in education and universal literacy and numeracy. For Taptilo, we have entered 50 countries and we have developed 13 languages all over the world. And after the development and sales of Taptilo, we still faces another issue in the Braille learning. So traditional Braille typing method, there are 2 kinds of it. First is slate and stylus, and second is Perkins Brailler. Both are very widely used around the students who are learning Braille, but those are inefficient and expensive, and it is really heavy to be carried. So we developed the product named Taptilo K, which is more cheaper, more efficient, and more light. So this is now I am holding the Taptilo keyboard in my hand, but the key color is a little bit different since it is demo version. So for Taptilo K, it has its own Braille education, own Braille translating engine. So when the content is typed using the Braille keyboard, it is Perkins style. When it is typed with the Braille, it automatically translated to mute letters to the mobile phone or laptop or computer. So the teachers and parents or friends who don't know the Braille, they can read the document right away. So as mentioned before, it can be connected to any other devices. So it can be just similar to the Bluetooth keyboard that we use. And Taptilo keyboard is available at 10% of the price of the Braille typer, which is traditionally used. And also it is 10% of weight of Perkins keyboards. So which it is very light and affordable and efficient tool for Braille writing. This is the video that I liked most in my journey in OHFA Tech. This is the video that I filmed in Indonesia. Since Taptilo keyboard, the product we are developing now, has done the pilot project in public school, blind school in Indonesia. So this video shows just one day the student starts using Taptilo K and they really like it. Oh, I hope I can play it. Oh, I don't know. Can I? Oh, I'll do this. Oh my God. Can I show the link? Oh, I've tested it before, but I don't know why it is not. Ah, okay. Yeah, oh. Yes, this video is we filmed in Indonesia, and students saying that this is dot one, this is dot three, so I'll type the word something, and when they claps when they got the correct answer. So we believe that Taptilo keyboard would be the affordable and efficient solution for the students who just started learning Braille. Yeah, this is all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. I'm a Braille user, so I really, excuse me, I really like the idea of Taptilo, and I think it will increase the literacy of blind students very much so. So before we moving to the next session, which is it will be more discussions with these three speakers, I would like to ask our speakers to turn on the video because we need to cap some photos, and that including myself. Let me turn my video on. Sorry if you see a little bit of mess of my office. Okay, I hope our three speakers can manage to turn the video on. So from three examples that we just listened, are the, shall I call the products of youth collabs, or actually the youth collab have been learned a lot from these three very good examples. And now we're moving to the next session, which will be more like question and answer. So I would like to ask our three speakers not only to turn the video on, but also the audio, the mic on as well. The first question I would like to ask three of you, which I will ask, I would let Lady first to answer, and then followed by Abraham and then Tanvir. The question is, can you introduce yourself to us, which is non-related work? Any fun activities that you've been done recently? Please share with us.
Okay. I'm Jaein, as I told everyone before. With non-work related fun activity, I could introduce my hobby as doing yoga. I'm really interested in mental and my physical health.
Nice.
So I do yoga every morning. Thank you.
Wow. So you are a morning riser then?
Yeah, try to wake up every morning.
Good, good, good. So what about Abraham, please?
Yes, I think you all know me already, but a fun thing, I love traveling a lot, and I like cooking a lot. So exploring different cuisines, trying to replicate them when I'm back at home, that is something that I like to do a lot. And a funny thing which people usually make fun of me is that whenever I go somewhere, the first thing that I ask is, what is the specialty in foods about this area? May it be a city of Pakistan or maybe somewhere else, some other part of the world. And they're like, is that the only thing you can do? So yeah, that's.
Have you tried Thai food?
Yes, I have. So
Nice.
initially it was slightly hard for me to get over the particular smell of seafood, but while I was there for over a month or so, eventually I started loving it. And the worst part is that you can't find authentic Thai food in Pakistan. So yeah, I do miss it a bit.
Aww. Next time when you come to Thailand, I'm sure that Youth Collab team will definitely show you around to have some more traditional Thai food. So what about Tanvir?
Tanvir, kindly unmute yourself.
I think there must be some problem with screen reader that we're using. Some of the screen reader for visually impaired people have shortcut with unmilked and muted, but then with some screen reader doesn't have, so we need to use tab and tab and tab in order to find a button on what we want to do. Tanvir, yes, okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry for the delay.
That's okay.
Okay. I like to go traveling because every weekend I want to go to my friends, hang out with very few places in Dhaka city because I live in Dhaka. And when I go every weekend, that time my friends have supported me, and I like to go very few traditional places. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So next question will also go to three of you, but I will ask the youngest one to answer first, which is Tanvir, and then followed by the early lady, Jaein, and then Abraham. Could you tell us about your journey and how did you get where you are today? We would like to learn about your journey. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes, please, starting with Tanvir.
Basically, I'm a partially sighted, partially visually impaired student. So when I born that time, I'm completely fine. That time I don't have visual disabilities, and in 2009, my visual disabilities is recognized. That time, my family was completely broken down, because when they hear their child was visually impaired, that time they feels that how society received that things, because they don't know how can I read, how can I manage my future, and they think that I couldn't bright in my future. And that time my sister supported me, and our newspapers and very few news media that time promoted visually impaired students are started. So that's why my journey was started, and I knew said that it's a new dimension of my life, because I can't write braille and many more things. I always using the voice recording, and I always studied in integrated school and college. So from my childhood, because of my family don't know that visual impaired students are studied by braille, but my teachers also don't know. But day by day, gradually our technology can be developed, that's why Facebooks and other social medias promoted that. And my sisters was scrolling some few that time, and she said uh, read a post, and one person said that visual impaired student studied in Dhaka universities or many more public universities. Then he said me, okay, your education life not be stopped, because it has an opportunity you can grab if you studied. That time I said that, okay, I want to learn, and I want to I want to go to higher education. That's that time my life was be changed, and 2018 I enrolled in enrolled in undergraduation in Dhaka University, and now I'm a disability activist. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm a disability activist, and I'm aware of these things, and I try to uh, do for persons with disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure you are a disability activist, and you do a really good job so far. So next that what would like to tell us is Jaein. Could you tell us about your journey and how did you get where you are at the moment, please?
Okay. To be honest, I don't know where my journey starts exactly, but but my mom gave me a lot of love, and she always mentioned that you should do what you like and what you're good at. And the last thing is that you need to help others. You need to be good at others. You need to make good to others so they could live the better life. So, or when I was young, I think the only thing that I need those three things would be like donation, like give or volunteer work. But when I go to university and I had several lectures related to the social venture and the values that shares the companies that sharing values to others. So I think that'll be my perfect job that meets all of my things that my mother mentioned, and also that'll be great for me also. So I found a lot of like job opportunities that I could get, and I to just a really coincidence that I had some event for the people to get to know about social ventures in Korea, and there I met OHFA Tech as one of the companies that enrolled the event. So I started the career as an intern in here, and it keeps me motivated. I was always happy when I meet with the customers or meet teachers or students with our product. So this made me get to here today. Thank you.
Nice. What a lovely journey. And Abraham, it's your turn, please.
Yeah, so even in my presentation, it was primarily my journey that I kept discussing because it's been very dear to me. I've always been into tech, and in fact, there was a time when I was a critic of tech doing more harm than good, because we see that there are ways in which tech is affecting our lifestyle adversely. So I always wanted to work on technology that contributes to our lifestyle in making it more sustainable, in increasing the utility of humankind instead of decreasing it. And in that pursuit, the first project that I was working on, and I discussed it with multiple members of your team, it was an exercise trainer in our gym. So I wanted to automate it so that we can, what should I say, exercise in the most optimum of manner. From that, using that technology, we started an office boy who lost his limb, and later on Siam. So this is how my journey went down this lane. And I remember that I was in Berlin and I was meeting this mother who had a son suffering from cerebral palsy. And in our discussions, he said something very beautiful. And it's like, special people don't have special needs. Their needs are just like any other people. The reason why they're called special is because catering to those needs requires special effort. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. Put in that special effort, that extra effort. Because let's be honest, a prosthetic is not making anyone a superhuman. It's just helping you walk. And everyone wants to walk. Stuff that OHFA Tech is doing, it's not doing anything new. It's just helping people with visual impairments get education. And education is that everyone wants, and it's a normal need. So the needs are the same. It's just about giving that special attention, and that special attention is all what I want my journey to be about, and that's the pursuit I'm after.
Thank you. What a beautiful quote. And exactly, we just want to be as other human beings can do and can be. So next question, I'm gonna have one question each for each of you. I will start with Jaein first. How are you empowering disability community or persons with disability through your work?
I think it is a hard question. I feel that our product Tapsolo empowers the communities and persons with disabilities, because as introduced before, the blind students can study by themselves when they just press the start button, because all the audio instructions and all the sound effects came out, so they can learn Braille by themselves. So when I interview some kids, when they tested our product, they say that they are really happy because their mothers don't need to help them anymore, because you know that young kids always wanted to do the things by themselves. So now they can learn Braille by themselves with our product. So I think that's the way that our team empowers the communities and persons with disabilities. Thank you.
Exactly, totally agree. Increasing the confidence to children with visual impairment we're likely to create a confident adults in the future. So next question, I would like to go to Tanvir, please. What challenges have you encountered during COVID-19 pandemic, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. Basically, COVID period is a very crucial period of my life, because that time our educational life is stopped because our universities and educational institutions are stopped here. But rapidly our university taking some initiative to they go through the online period. But as a visually impaired student, I can't that time I can't cope up of the online systems. And that time I take some trainings and how to use those things and how to manage it. And that time I think that, and take some soft skill trainings, and I overcome those educational problems. And the most important things, and my life is changed in COVID period, I think. So that time I started entrepreneurship, because that time the 1.5 year we are stopped, and pandemic situation, and we're break lockdown period. So that time I'm in my home, and I feel that in initial stages, maybe 2 months or 3 months, when I go to my home and into the lockdown, that time I take some trainings, and that time I take an initiative to build a startup. So that time it's a digital economy is blooming, and e-commerce is also blooming. That time my financial stability, get my financial stability. So I started startup, and I uh, uh, overcome those challenges maybe. Thank you.
Thank you. I totally feel exactly the same as Tanvir been going through. All the new meeting style and learning style has been introduced during COVID, and people with disabilities are very lacking behind in all of these things. But thank you for sharing and telling us on how you overcome them. My next question would go to Abraham, please. What small or large changes can people make to foster a more inclusive working environment for staff with disability?
I love talking about this. And I think that the first and the easiest thing that we have to do is understand that no one is perfect. So, and understand that the beauty lies in imperfection. In some cases, that imperfection might be a bit too bold. In some cases, it's very subtle. But the idea is that no one is perfect. And just understanding that and grasping this concept is all what we need to. It's not like all what we need, but it's the first step towards inclusion to me, to understand that how these differences do not make them a lesser human or not make us a lesser human. It's just the way humankind is. It's different, and this is something that I want people to understand, and I think it will create a lot of impact, because the biggest problem that so whenever I interact with people with different impairments, the first thing which I realize out of the conversations and out of their problems is that the people very close to them, the people very dear to them, are not understanding the complications that they're going through. They might be unusual, but it's nothing out of the ordinary, because when it comes to humankind, there is no ordinary to begin with. Humankind, there is no way to define what's ordinary when we're talking about mankind, right? So this is what I just want people to understand, especially people very close to people who are facing different challenges. They should be the first one to support them, and that's all what they need, an extra push.
Thank you, and I totally agree. Learning to be with the differences and accept and respect each other, and nobody is lesser human than the other person.
True.
My final question will go to everyone, each of you, and you could probably say whatever you like. And yeah, so the question is, what should be the key takeaways to the audience today from each of you? I'll start with Abraham first then.
Sure. First thing, don't look at problems like problems, look at problems like opportunities. It's a cliched thing to say, but it's true. When Siam was bedridden, we went there. So it's a tradition in Pakistan that we take fruits or things there and then would pray for God to bless him and stuff. But that wasn't enough. Just sticking to the basics at times is not enough. you should try to do something for people around you suffering, and not just, and then don't look at your efforts as a support. Channel your efforts to gain benefits from an opportunity, and that would totally change the way people look at the world, and the way you look at the world, and the way you'll be rewarded, both worldly and metaphysically. I think that's something that people who are a part of this seminar should look into and think of.
Thank you. So not thinking that we are supporting each other, but we have to work alongside each other and gain from each other, as well as this core win-win situation, isn't it? So what about Tanvir, please?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
What should be our key takeaway for the audience today?
Okay, I think we should believe on yourself, and we have a motto, it's ability is in our hearts. So if we fact believe that ability is in our hearts, so that I think it's okay. Thank you.
So believe in yourself and do as strong as you can do. Jaein, please, what should be our key takeaway today?
One takeaway. I think it would be great if we could consider each other, and so I think it would be great if we could communicate with each other with honest. So as Abraham mentioned, it is not support kind of thing. I think if we could discuss each other's characteristic or each other's what we have in honest, I think we could make a better world for everyone. And I think it would be a great for us too. Thank you.
Thank you. So be honest and try to communicate and work alongside each other. Thank you all three speakers for wonderful speeches and a very articulate answers that you have given to us. And our time is up. And the final thought, thank you to all the audience, and thank you to City Foundation, as well as Youth Collab teams and everyone for making this wonderful webinar to happen. Thank you and see you next time.